him move, move. Look at God. Look at God. Look at God. Watch him move. Watch God move. Look at God. Watch him move. Look at God. Watch him move. Hanging by the goodness of Jesus. Look at God. All he done for me. Watch him move. Watch him move. Watch him. Watch God move. How he pick me up. Turn me around. Place my feet. Watch him move. Solid ground. Look at God. Hey. Watch him move. Bounce. 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 Watch him move. Bounce. Bounce. Look at everybody bounce. Watch him move. Hey.
And can I just pause right there?
Look at God. Hey, watch him move when I think about the goodness of Jesus and all he's done for me. All I can is say, I gotta bounce, bounce, bounce. Hey, look at God. And what is going on, everybody? What is going on? It's Wade's Word of the Day. Wade's Word of the Day. We are so thankful and grateful to be back in the house. If you're grateful and thankful for us to be back in the house after our sabbatical, come on, take your finger even right now. Yeah, text tag, tell somebody, tell them to come on into the space. Y'all know what it is tonight. It's Wade's Word of the Day in the space. Yeah, just as a point of reminder, we don't tear down, we lift up, we encourage, we speak to those things that speak to us, all of those things. So don't be scared, don't be shy. Holler at your neighbor, holler at your friend. Tell them to come on into the space. And while you're doing that, go ahead and hit that stars button. Every time you hit the stars button, yeah, it helps us just to do the work we're doing just a little bit better, a little bit more. So hit those stars button right there on Past RD Wade. If you're looking at it, watching us from the LHBC page, hit that stars button. Yeah, we got you covered on all sides. So again, we are grateful and thankful to have you in the space. We see you, Duchess. We see you, Shakira. We see you, Maxine. And we see others. Yeah, so just go ahead, tag, text, and tell somebody the baddest man in guitar land has made his way into the room as well. Kadila Bolin, what's going on? Good to see you tonight. Thank you for coming into the space. Wow, so what's been going on? Come on, let's check in real quick. Let me know what's happening with you, what's going on with you, how you feeling, how you doing. Wow. Yeah, it's Wade's Word of the Day. Got a wonderful topic that I kind of want to talk about tonight. Yeah, so let's start off this way. Let's start off this way. So what have I been thinking about? What have I been, wrestling through? What have I been pondering, considering, thinking about? And really this larger question of information direction. And I went back and I looked at a book that I had read a few years back. It's by Seth Godin, and it's entitled Tribes. Yeah, that's the name of the book. If you get a chance, go out and cop that. Yeah, get that book. That was a free plug. But it's called Tribes. And basically the bottom line around that book, it centers around leading and connecting people and ideas. Leading and connecting people and ideas. And his premise is kind of along the lines of what I've been saying before, that those who take responsibility get responsibility. So no longer in this day and time do you need somebody to tell you what to do. I mean, like never before. We hear it everywhere, right? I'm going to do what I want to do. I can think the way that I want to think. Why is that possible? Because information is plenteous, right? You know, before they used to hide or try to hide information from us. And so we couldn't be, we didn't have all of the information. And so we felt like we couldn't do everything that we need to do. But now, man, you can get information, from a click. Yeah, just clicking Google and all of those good things. And so he came out with this book entitled Tribes. In other words, his thought process is we all have a tribe, right? We all have a tribe. You can belong to the red hat tribe. You can belong to the buffet tribe. We all got a tribe. We all have a tribe. And in our tribe, what connects us is the things that we collectively believe are important. Yeah, yeah. We get connected together because we believe in some of the same things, if you will, and we believe that they are important. And his premise is, like never before, these tribes have the opportunity to change the world, if you want to think about it like that. And so there's a paragraph from his book, and he says this. I'm going to read it, and then we'll get into this whole notion. But let me ask you this question before I read this paragraph and we begin to discuss it. Uh, what tribe are you a part of? Who are you connecting with? Yeah, because you all believe in the same things, the same ideas, and nobody has to like force you uh, to be a part of the tribe. It's something that you just want to belong, right? And so he says this. He says this. He says nobody is going to listen to your idea for change. They're not going to. No one anoints you as a leader. Nobody is going to see your PowerPoint presentation and hand you a check. Change isn't made by asking permission. Change is made by asking forgiveness later. And then he goes on to say, the first thing you need to know is that individuals have far more power than ever before in history. One person can change an industry. One person can declare war, if you will. One person can reinvent science or politics and technology. And then he says the second thing that you need to know is that the only thing that's holding you back from becoming the kind of person who changes things is simply this: a lack of faith. Wow. Think about that. Think about that. This guy is not a religious author. He's simply talking about what happens when people get together. And oftentimes people don't get together and things and change is not created, oftentimes because of fear, because of a lack of faith. Notice what he says. He says the second thing you need to know is that the only thing that's holding you back from becoming the kind of person who changes things is a lack of faith. Faith that you can do it, faith that it's worth doing, and faith that failure won't destroy you. Write those three things down. Think about it. The only thing that's holding you back from moving in your purpose, moving towards your destiny, fulfilling your dreams, exercising your calling, if you will, changing the world. If I can say it like that, is a lack of faith. Faith that you can do it. Somebody write that down. Faith that you can do it in the comment section. Faith that it's worth doing. And faith that failure won't destroy you. Let's break down those three things. Let me give them to you again. Faith that you can do it. Faith that is worth doing. And faith that failure won't destroy you. And then his next sentence is this: our culture works hard to prevent change. So think about that. Think about that. He gives you the tools. He says, yeah, you can accomplish stuff, but you have to be willing to step out to find out, right? That no longer have to ask someone for permission to create change because of all of these tools that are readily available to you right there at your fingertips. In our context, you no longer need a ministry leader to tell you to stand at the door and greet somebody. If you want people to feel welcome in your spaces and in your places, you can step out and just do it. And then the second thing he says, the only thing that's preventing you from doing it is faith. Then he gives those 3 levels of faith that I want to talk about. And then his next sentence is our culture, our environment, our politics in some situations, they work hard to prevent change. See, everybody who's talking about change don't necessarily want change. And they may not want the change that you're talking about. Because oftentimes it is the ones who are saying, I want change. They're talking about you need to change, but they don't necessarily want to change themselves. And so he says, our culture works hard to prevent change. People like operating in the status quo. People like operating in those comfortable places. But if you're going to change your world, change your environment, change your situation, you're going to have to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because here is the thing, even now, there are some people who are around you. Seth says our culture works hard to prevent change, but there are some people who are around you who don't want you to walk in your best self, who don't want to see your dreams come to pass, who don't want to see you move in your purpose. But you have to be willing to acknowledge first that you have everything that you need, that God has put everything that you need down on the inside for you to accomplish your dreams. Then you've got to exercise your faith. Faith that you believe that you can do it. Yeah, in the face of your symbolize, who are trying to prevent you from building your proverbial wall, if you will, who will try to convince you and others that just simply you trying is not worth it because you will never accomplish the goal. See, if you don't believe that you can do it, you'll never be able to persuade anyone else that you can do it, or persuade others to come alongside of you and be a part of what it is that you're doing. See, change is scary because, as Seth says, our culture works hard to prevent change. They work hard in our communities to keep our communities sometimes looking the way that our communities look. They work hard to keep you quiet and not ruffle any feathers. Just put your head down and keep on moving. Don't dream bigger than the 4 blocks that you live in. Just be quiet and don't say nothing. Keep your head down. How many times have you received that type of instruction, information? Just be quiet. Don't ruffle no feathers. Because our culture works hard to prevent change. So if you don't believe, you will never be able to convince anyone else. You've got to believe that you can do it. Come on, take your finger even right now and say, I can do it. Yep, you can do it. You've got to believe that you are, in fact, an agent of change. Come on, say, I can do it. Take your finger. Tell yourself tonight, I can do it. And then you've got to ask yourself, see, it's easy sometimes even to say that I can do it, but then you have to raise up the next question is what I'm trying to do worth the aggravation that surely will come because I dare to challenge the status quo? Yeah, is it worth it? See, if you're going to change anything, you need to understand there are all types of people, as I said before, who want to prevent you from changing your attitude, changing your outlook on life. You know, you may be surrounded by a whole bunch of negative people and they used to you being negative. And one day you say, you know what? I'm tired of being negative. That's not getting me anywhere. You'll be amazed of all the folk you have been around, you who have become accustomed to you being negative, and then you start being positive. Yeah, they try to shut you down. What you so happy about? Why are you trying to be all positive now? Who you think you are? You must not only believe that you can do it, but then you've got to raise the question down in your shana now. Is it worth the aggravation that will surely come? Because if you are to fulfill your calling, your destiny, your passion, surely there are going to be some folk who are going to convince you it's not worth it. Don't even waste your time. Don't even participate. I remember some folk used to look at me and they would say, I just don't understand you. Because they couldn't understand my thinking that, no, I don't want to just stay where I am. I believe that God has something bigger and greater and larger for me. And it's easy to do what everybody else does. Yeah, it's easy to do what everybody else does. But it's hard trying to find your own path, to stretch out, to find out. And so you've got to ask yourself, do I have the faith to believe that this journey that I am on is worth it? Ask yourself that tonight. Take your finger. Is it worth it? Because if you don't believe that is worth it, you will quit before you ever get started. Whether you're talking about you're on the journey to lose weight, if you don't believe that losing that weight is worth it, letting go of that cheeseburger, letting go of that hamburger, letting go of all of those sweets and everything, you will be defeated before you get started. You've got to ask yourself, is it worth it? Letting go some of that fat back collard greens and all of that lard and butter and all of that stuff, is it worth it? So not only must you believe that you can do it, but then you've got to ask yourself, is it worth it? Because anything, your destiny is going to require some faith challenges. What do you mean by that? It's not going to be easy. You're going to have some faith challenges that are going to raise the question, do you really want this? I was listening the other day, and there was this comedian, and he was talking about some words that Steve Harvey gave him, and he said Steve Harvey leaned back out of nowhere, and he was like, do you really want this? And he began to tell him about all of the things that come with this. So you've got to ask yourself, is your destiny worth it? Some of the headaches that come with it, some of the relationships that could possibly be broken, some of the people who will turn their back on you. I heard Fat Joe say the other day um, how he helped so many people, only for those people to turn around and act like he never helped them before. That's the price sometimes of being great. That's the price sometimes of fulfilling your calling. Is it worth it? Is it worth it sometimes not being understood? Is it worth it? Like Noah, folk looking at you crazy because you just simply believe God? So yeah, is it worth it? Is it worth it? And then finally, if I step out to find out and if I run into those challenges, do I have the faith to believe that failure won't destroy me? In other words, sometimes we never get started because we are out of the gate believing that we're going to fail. And if I have a setback along the journey, will I keep pushing or will I allow one chapter in my book to define the whole narrative? Do I have the capacity to get back up after I have fallen down? Do I have the capacity to believe even when it feels like and it looks like this thing won't come to pass? Do I have the faith to believe that failure won't destroy me? Because here it is, failure is a part of the process. Failure is a part of the process. And too many of us won't embrace the setback because sometimes the setback is kind of opens up the door for the bounce back. Y'all ain't picking up what I'm putting down. In other words, if I'm going to dunk a basketball, most of the time what we spend our energy looking at the soaring. But if you really want to know the true nature of one who can really dunk the basketball, what you need to do is look at the explosion. One goes down, then rises up. It's part of the process. Yeah, failure is a part of the process. Failure teaches me what not to do. Failure causes me to ponder some of those questions that I may not have thought about in the beginning. I learn from my failure, but never allow your failures to cause you to believe that you can't do it. Don't allow your failures to defeat you. Do you have faith, enough faith to know that your failures won't destroy you? Can I be honest with you tonight? Some folk tried to convince me that some of my failures were the end. All of the, you've been there before, right? All of the good things you've done, and then maybe you make a mistake, a hiccup or whatever, and then folk come around and try to convince you that it's the end of the world. Job's friends. You in this place because you had to have done something. But they're looking from the outside. They don't really know what's going on down on the inside of you. And you have to have enough faith and enough courage to understand what he says is true. He'll never leave me nor forsake me. You got to have enough faith to understand faith acts like a thing is so, even when it is not so, that it might be so. You got to have enough faith to understand those the kind of folk that God loves. Yeah, the person who comes to me must believe that I'm a rewarder of them who diligently seek me. You got to have enough faith to understand that if he is for you, he's more than the world against you. You got to have enough faith to understand that he does not slumber nor does he sleep concerning you. Yeah, I'm talking to you and even the one in the back of the room who trying to close your ears. Take your hand off your ear. You hear me tonight. You got to believe that even when the enemy comes in like a flood, that he will raise up a standard against him. And you've got to have enough faith to believe that even when you fall, he has the capacity to raise you back up again. I don't know who I'm talking to tonight, but I just need you to know this thing is set up to prevent you from changing. But tonight, I want you to know that you can. I want you to know tonight, all you need is some faith. Faith to believe in yourself. Faith to believe in the one who created you. Faith to understand that your destiny and your purpose is worth it. Don't just simply settle for second best or second hand because that's easier. And then faith to know that he got you. That your failures can't destroy you. Yeah, he got you. Somebody take your finger tonight and say, he got me. Yeah. Your failures are not the end. Yeah, come on. Take your finger tonight and say, he got me. That it's not over because of one hiccup in your life. Come on, take your finger tonight and say, he got me. Because they sang a song when I was a little boy, and I believe it to be true now that I'm a seasoned man. He got the whole world in his hand. He got the whole world in his hand. He got the little bitty babies in his hand. He got the whole world in his hand. And that's you. And that's me. And that's all of us. So I dare you tonight to hook up with your crowd, with your tribe. Hook up with some folk who want to believe for your best, who believe for your future, who want to stand with you and not against you, who will celebrate you not when you're just on the mountaintop, but who will celebrate you even when you're in the valley. Well, you believe that tonight? Yeah, all you need is a spirit that says, I can, I will, I must. All you need is a spirit to believe. Yeah, your future is waiting on you. So what you waiting on? Step out to find out. I hope this word has blessed your life on tonight. I hope it has added a little value to your life on tonight. And if it has, do me a favor. Text tag and tell somebody. Share, tell them, hey, Wade's Word of the Day is back. Yeah. That's simple. All you got to do, text and tag. If you want to go a little bit higher, hit that stars button. Bless us on tonight if this word has blessed you. And then finally, we're going to be here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays going forward. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday nights, 8 p.m. Wade's Word of the Day. Make sure you tell your family and your friends, we back. We in the building. Some of y'all outside, but I'm still inside. And we back. Wade's Word of the Day. I love y'all so much. I appreciate y'all so much. Let's go out this way. It's Wade's Word of the Day. Love you. Sometimes it's just simply about settling the decision in your heart. And then as you settle the decision in your heart, it now sets you on this trajectory, if you will, to accomplish your goals. And some things you're going to learn along the way. Yeah, I said some things you're going to learn along the way. Some things you're going to get your answer along the way. You're not going to always have all of the answers at the beginning. You're not going to always be in the proper position. You're not going to always feel like doing something. Gone. Hey, let's move. Let's move to this groove. Look at God. Look at God. Look at God. Watch him move, move. Watch him move, move. Watch him move, move. Watch him move, move. Look at God. Look at God. Look at God. Watch him move. Watch God move. Look at God. Watch him